Here we have Solana symbol SOL versus the dollar, and a very similar chart to Ethereum, actually, even the same sort of technical formation. This one, a bit of a broadening wedge, as you can see. I won't, or should I draw it out? Yeah, fuck it, we'll draw it out. I actually have it charted as a falling channel right here. Both kind of the same sort of interpretations, but more importantly right now, this one actually is initiating its first sort of etchings of a daily breakout, as it did close above the region that I had overlaid at about 195. It actually got that, yeah, it actually closed above there yesterday at 198 or so. So yeah, this is actually looking quite good. Short term, I would be looking for another test somewhere around the 210-ish region, very likely a short-term pullback around that region. But I'm overall bullish on this one, looking for this one to reclaim around your 230 to 240-ish highs, assuming, or I guess an invalidation, as long as this invalidation is not met, which is below about 190. Below 190, I do look for this one to, you know, catastrophe fall back down to like 170 to 160-ish region. Until then, this actually looks quite good. Again, you are seeing a breakout with extremely low volatility right here. So if we do start to see this tick up alongside continuation, I would be looking for that test up somewhere around about 230 to 240-ish region. Very likely a short-term pullback right there. And then is that going to have the power to bust on through? Perhaps yes. If we go over here to a weekly, which again, I don't know what time frame you're looking at because you did not specify, but we do have potential weekly hidden bullish divergence between this point and this point, as this would be a higher low right here. This is also just a general up and to the right chart, which is, well, good, I would say. And if we go to the monthly coming into the end of the year here, this is, you know, a decent end of the month thus far, especially if it closes above that 230 to 240-ish region. I'd feel very comfortable, very confident calling new ultimas in very likely January, probably somewhere around $300 if I had to guess long term. And then, all right, sorry, not long term, but like in mid to late January, and then more long term, perhaps in February, March area, perhaps looking at some more crazy targets, which actually won't repeat right now because they're a little bit too out there for me to get excited about for the time being. And of course, we'll follow up on this one in the short term. Now, if we do go over here to stochastic momentum, we do see that 5-day Stokes. I've actually had a nice corrective phase right here. I don't see any trend lines relevant for this one, but ultimately 215 would turn these babies back up. So we've had a nice bullish reset as price action essentially just sets in another higher low. My experimental indicator over here is already suggesting a proceeding of that signal before it even happens. And the weekly is basically doing the same thing. So 230 going to be a very big area for this one, as we actually do see a nice trend line regression coming in from our last major lows from December 2020 and our lows in August 21 from the summer. And that would be protecting against the around the bearish control zone in this case. And where does it turn back up again? 230. That is very interesting, because if we do, or not if we, but if Solana does trade back above and close above 230, I'd be looking at that as your next sort of major indication of a long-term macro breakout with targets towards 300 and longer term $400 very likely, if and when that is confirmed. Just be aware of where the invalidation is on something like this. If you're on the short-term time frames, it's just an uptrend, man. It doesn't need to be anything more complicated than that. So I think I'll leave it right there. And with that said, take care. And there you go for Solana, sir.